Salutations, nerds. We're watching the MCU and all its glory.
Welcome back to Phased Out, the show designed to make Nick hate us, and I don't think it's going to happen if it hasn't happened by now, because I don't think there's that many good ones left.
Not unless you dislike the only other good one left in the MCU.
I mean...
Quantumania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess there's two more good ones.
You just, at this point, we're just getting so tired.
Yeah.
This week, we are covering Mom. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. What to say about this movie? Sam Raimi directed it.
Raimi directed parts of it. Because you can see the Raimi movie, and then you can see when they rip it away from him.
I find that that's just a thing in this phase of the MCU, is just that they take the directors that had good things in their good movies. Not that Sam Raimi has directed another MCU movie, but they just rip the heart of the director out of it.
I would say they kind of strangle the voice, the director's voice.
Mm-hmm. Except with Taika Waititi. They let him go full tilt.
And James Gunn. They let him do his thing.
Oh, you know what? I don't ever consider those as part of the MCU.
Because they're better than the rest of the MCU.
Yep. They are themselves their own MCU.
I'd like to start on my little spiel just because this was the most excited I was for an MCU movie post-Endgame.
If you guys can imagine Jared hype for an MCU movie, this was it for him because he likes Raimi movies.
I like Raimi. I've seen a bunch. Yeah.
And
those Spider-Man movies.
Really loves Doctor Strange.
I like the first. It's like it was the perfect storm of things of like Doctor Strange. The first movie is one of my favorites, and I really like his character and his appearance in Spider-Man. I really liked, and how the stage was set for this movie, and we're doing a multiverse thing, which at the time a lot of things were, but like, okay, we're actually doing it now. Spider-Man is what kind of opened the door, but now we're actually going through it. Sam Raimi is brought on, and he's gonna put his own little touch on it. A lot of horror stuff in this movie that we did see, and it's just like, okay, I'm ready. And I watched the trailer was at the end of Spider-Man. Originally, again, I watched the more fun cut, whatever they called it, so there was an actual after credit thing. But I was so excited, and then I missed a screening with friends. They went to see it, and I got sick, which is very rare. So I was really upset when I saw all of the reactions. I go, uh-oh. So I saw it by myself like a week later, and I'm sitting there, and it's okay, it's the Simpsons thing. It's still good. Just trying to hold up that candle in the rain. Like, I'll make it. It's gonna kick in, and it's like, oh, there's Sam. There he is, and then it pulls back, and then it comes again, and you go, okay, there it is, and then they pull back, and by the end, I was like, huh. Well, it's not Eternals.
No, there's a lot of really great stuff in this movie.
Yes.
Great stuff. Not just good, great.
Yeah.
But then the not great stuff is so bad. It's so rough. I think they wanted it to be like the best part of the movie, which was the Illuminati stuff, was easily the worst part of this movie. It felt like it took it to a grinding halt, and it was a different movie for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're back to what we were doing.
See, I liked the Professor Xavier stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was okay.
I think that was appropriate. I think if he was like the only one that he met, and we didn't get James Krasinski,
John Krasinski,
just to then tear him to shreds.
He spaghettied his.
Also, Reed Richards is supposed to be one of the smartest men in the universe, and he immediately was like, "Hey, here's Black Bolt's weakness. Have it."
The other thing is here are all these super powerful people. Not that he isn't powerful, but Wanda has been ripping these Ultron bots apart without touching them. So what is his strategy to attack Wanda? Let me stretch my hand straight at her. What do you think, Scott? Of course he got ripped up like a
Especially after she warned you that she's going to kill you.
yeah.
She's like, do your kids have a mother? Yes. Well, they're going to need her or whatever she says. Like, you saw it coming, my guy. Use your little portal and get out of there.
It is a pretty rough way to go.
It is.
Like, those deaths are rough. And it's a shame that it's in this boring universe, because outside of that building, it's a nice-looking universe.
Mm-hmm.
Everything inside is bland.
I really didn't need to see Haley Atwell get killed like that either. That was
rough, too.
That was brutal.
The shield right through her midsection, right? It's like, again, there's like the more violent Raimi stuff, but it's held back. Because there's other stuff that's great, but that stuff specifically, that whole section of the movie is just...
The only part of it that serves a purpose is Professor X's. So why not just have that? They also did Mordo.
Mordo is a bear.
Carl Mordo. His name's Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, Baron Carl Mordo.
Carl.
I'm like 99% sure.
And I like how they're like tussling with each other and they fall over. You go, oh, and it's just this random 8-foot little gap between where Strange was. Yeah, there's a weird cut in that scene too where Carl
I gotta look this up, make sure.
He's standing there like yelling as Strange runs out of there to go find America. And why do I always forget her name?
Carl
Christine
with a K, by the way.
I thought so. But like he's in the moat and he's like yelling, and like mid yell it cuts to Strange running out, and I go, not that other movies don't do that cut. It felt weird because Strange had he was still like standing up when the cut happens. I was like, did they cut something out? Was this conversation longer? Because like you said, you think there's a cut that's a Raimi cut of sorts.
I know there is.
There is.
Because the opening scene was changed. The opening scene was actually, I believe, supposed to be Mordo, 616 Mordo, going to visit Wanda and her beheading him.
Wow.
And then they cut that out and went with the
boring.
Yeah, opening? The Book of Ashanti chase, which it's a fun chase with the little string monster or whatever, but yeah. You
were right though. You said that doesn't feel like that opening sequence is supposed to be the opening sequence.
Mm-hmm. I honestly feel like number one, they nerfed America's powers to heck.
Because what does she do with her powers, Nick? Like we've said every week about MCU powers.
Punches things. But she's supposed to be able to fly. She has a bunch of other powers. I don't even think, thinking about it, I don't even know that she needs to be in this movie. I'm not really sure why they put her there.
They put her there to get us ready for Young Avengers.
Is she going to be one of the Young Avengers?
Mm-hmm. Her, Billy, and Tommy, Hulkling. All of the younger versions of the Avengers are all supposed to come together for a Young Avengers movie, apparently.
I hate this universe.
I'm excited for a Young Avengers movie. I just don't like any of the Young Avengers that they put out.
I feel like it's going to be hot garbage.
Actually, I like Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
I like her.
And Miss Marvel.
Yeah, and Miss Marvel, that's right. Iman Vellani is phenomenal. She should be leading the MCU at this point.
And Florence Pugh, I don't know if she'd be Young Avengers, but
I don't know if she'll be in the Young Avengers or if she's going to stick to the Thunderbolts teams.
I don't know.
Who knows?
But she's just fun to watch in movies in general.
Yeah, back to America's powers. She doesn't really have, and this will be something we'll talk about. No one has an arc, really. But her whole thing about discovering her power, I remember thinking that would be so much more powerful if there was anything to it. It's literally he just gives her a little pep talk, and then she just starts punching Wanda.
Yeah, he goes, "You can do it," and she's like, "You know what? I can do it. I got this."
See, Ed, something I brought up to him a week or so ago, back when we were talking about it. I think a better way to tell that story that would be cool, because they don't do cool, but like Raimi could have easily done, is her powers aren't brought on by fear, because that's why we go through the montage is cool, but we go to the two. We see two universes technically outside of the Wanda stuff. I think it would be cool if her powers would go off sporadically and they get thrown into a new universe without warning. And you don't have to do it too much, but they did it 5 or 6 times. Like, right as you're getting your bearings to get MacGuffin thing, or if they're the Book of Ashanti is a thing. And then that's where you can have a falling out between them because he's upset because she can't control it. And that's when he'd start to take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because that whole thing of, like, because the movie's doing too much of she can't control her powers, and the old Strange was taking them, and this one has to choose not to, even though, like, Wong is yelling at him to do it, and it's like, that would be so much better if we didn't have a million other things happening. All these movies are too busy.
See, I kind of like the idea of, if she has to be there, Wanda convincing Strange to somehow use her to go find Christine, so they have a point to go to all the different universes.
Yeah,
but again, I don't think she needs to be there. Period. So, yeah. I mean, she's not like she's that complex of a.
Well, yeah, no one has, like, Wanda gets the most stuff to do, and Elizabeth Olsen does the best with what she's given. But even that feels underdeveloped because there's not enough room for everything. Because Strange has an arc, and Wanda has an arc, and America has an arc. Like,
even
Wong
Christine has a bit of an arc.
Yep.
Like, Wong has an arc, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like this. You got to cut something. Someone's got to get less importance or less screen time.
I will say that the monsters feel very Raimi. Like, there's a point of that movie, like, particularly the eyeball monster. I was like, yeah, this feels like home. It feels like Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what is it? I can't remember. I can't remember what the name of that eye monster is, but it's not the one. It's not Shumagorath, who everybody thought it was going to be. But I think it's from his, like, race of. I was gonna say people, but it's not really a people. Eye monster. His race of eye monster. But it was done so well, and the string monster is so cool. And the guardians at the temple that Wanda has to go to are so cool.
Yeah, there's good creature design.
More of those?
I know.
See, every time this movie gets into... This movie is very frustrating. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But it's very frustrating for me because every time it gets into anything compelling or different, like you said, it starts to be like, oh, wait, nope. Mm-hmm. Just like the whole thing of Wanda going through the reflections or strange like that whole horror sequence before they fall through the dimensions. It's just like, that's...
The whole movie should have been that.
Yes.
The quick zooms to the doors shutting without anyone there. The
eyeballs coming up through things.
Yep, and like you said, reflection. Like, it's great. Like, her hands coming out of that mirror creep me out because that's a me thing, but still, like, the way it's done, where and the sound effect,
all contorted and everything.
Or like when they're doing the battle, when they're protecting Carmitage, when she just all of a sudden appears behind that one dude.
Yeah.
Why not that on a massive scale? Why not see, like, I don't know, what if it's 50 Wandas just all step out in unison, step back in? I mean, heck, in the comic books, this is not at all a good comparison, but in the comic books, Nick Fury can say something to Thor to make him unworthy, and it works. Why can't we do that type of thing in the movies?
I don't know. Another thing I'm sick of red laser magic. Like, it's just red balls of light.
Yep.
It's so boring. Like, the music fight is cool. It's kind of dumb, but it's cool because it's creative and interesting. But, like, that's all you really get. I mean, I guess he makes, like, the giant saw to cut the bus in half and things like that. But for the most part, it's just lights shooting at each other.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't look impressive.
That was also another prime example of how they cut the cool parts out of from trailers out of movies, or just don't have them in
the line he said.
Yeah, the things getting out of hand.
Things just got out of hand.
Like, that's the best line delivery
in the trailer.
In that trailer,
and it's not in the movie.
There. He says it there in the movie, almost like it was supposed to be like a callback sort of thing, but it's not in the movie, and it would have been wonderful in the movie.
One thing I hate about the reaction to this movie is how everybody focused on, like, the one bad CG shot of his third eye, which admittedly is extremely bad.
Okay.
But everything else
much of this movie looks amazing.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I did not think that was bad by comparison. it's a third eye. What do you think it's going to look like?
Yeah, it's hard to do. Like, putting something on a human that's not supposed to be there is going to look uncanny no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the worst. I mean, the next movie we have has a lot worse CG than this one does.
One after it, too.
Yeah, definitely the one after it.
And the one after this got nominated for special effects when this one didn't.
Yeah, I know. And there's so many cool effects in this movie that are pulled off so well.
The spinning door into the chamber, I'm going to call it a chamber of the Book of Ashanti. Like, that's one of the really, like, this is the type of movie where the VFX can shine because you're supposed to be doing things that don't make sense to us, that can look cartoonish, that can be just out there without being uncanny. It's not like,
because you're expecting it.
Yeah, it's not like putting a dragon up against a bunch of real people and water and having them fight.
Yeah.
I think another thing, you correct me if I'm wrong, another thing that really hurt this movie was the success of Everything Everywhere All at Once right before this coming out.
Yep.
Like it
weeks
came
before.
out, like 2 or 3 weeks before, and it was just a far better multiverse movie that explored what multiverses could actually be with an actual touching story. And then this came out, and you get one universe outside of our normal one, maybe two.
I understand where you would compare those. It's kind of like also like not fair to compare the two because they are very different things.
They are, but when it came out, everybody was comparing them because it's two multiverse movies, one that knows what it's doing and one that's this.
I think it is a fair comparison because when they're that close, and one is the big blockbuster, big budget Disney backed thing, and the other thing is this smaller independent movie, and they're both doing out loud a multiverse thing. It doesn't mean they have to be the same thing, but when the big budget thing doesn't do half of what the small one does in terms of multiverses, it makes it look
still
bad.
think that Multiverse of Madness had the shackles of having to be a comic book movie.
They shouldn't call it Multiverse of Madness.
Wasn't
there's one multiverse that's not very mad.
Yeah, it was more of the multiverse of, or the universe of sadness. Cause everyone's just sad.
I mean, to be fair, they did fall through like 8 or 12.
Yeah, that's cool. But
they also
all
do that
those
in Everything Everywhere All at Once like 6 times.
And they have multiple storylines and multiple ones, which, again, they're not going to do that in this, but why do we spend so much time in one boring one?
Well, at least the one boring one had...
Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Punching himself.
I actually don't like his character or that scene.
I thought it was funny.
It seems out of place for the rest of the movie.
It's
funny, but it just seems so out of place for the rest of the movie.
It's just one of those callbacks to Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man.
And Army of Darkness.
Is he
in Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's in all three. He's the one person that stops Spider-Man all 3 times.
In the first one, he's the promoter at the... He's the human spider. And he goes, that's it? That's all you got? Then the second one, he's the usher. The usher at MJ's play that doesn't let him in. And then the third one, he's the waiter.
At the restaurant when he's going to propose. And the plan for the fourth one was, I believe, it's still kind of rumor because it's never been confirmed, but based on like the storyboard art, he was supposed to be Mysterio in the fourth one.
That would have been fun.
So.
Oh, when we were talking about the big eye guy, that is one of the coolest suit-up moments in the whole MCU. When it happened, I was like, I'm feeling it. He just kind of goes, jumps over, and flies off to everyone's, whoa! I go, that's Raimi comic book moment right there.
And it's so fun watching him and Wong go back and forth while fighting the monster. And
which Wong again?
Like, this movie is,
great,
in my opinion, really solid outside of a lot of the Wanda stuff. Like, I think the Wanda stuff is great.
It feels separated.
It feels so separated. Exactly. It feels like a different movie almost.
It's almost like they could have just, if they'd added 3 episodes maybe to WandaVision, they could have just finished her arc.
100%. Yeah, her stuff literally feels like a post-credit of the show. Just a very long one.
She's one that there have been people in our circles that are like, Wanda didn't do anything wrong. I go, well, she kind of killed a lot of people for her of non-existent children.
Are these the same people that think that Aaron was right?
In Attack on Titan? Yep. But walk around saying, Wanda did
Aaron
nothing
was
wrong.
Right, by the way. I've never watched Attack on Titan.
That's not true.
Don't
You
say
saw like the first episode. You said.
I think I've seen the first 2.
There you go. But you haven't seen the whole thing.
Nope, I
But
didn't like it.
The whole point is they were saying that around that time, and I'm like, it's I don't know, killing that many people over that is. I don't care about any maternal thing or how much you're murdering a lot of people, and I can't get behind that. Yes.
What if it was? If you're gonna force yourself to connect them, what if it was the end of one story ends with her getting lost in like the multiverse or like taking America's powers, and it becomes about trying to find her? That would even be better than this.
There's a lot that would be better than this.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're talking about like how America uses her powers, like I would even like if she knew how to activate her powers, but she didn't know how to pinpoint where they were being sent.
Or,
she's like, I can try, but
or the random thing.
yeah.
How about them making such a big deal about this is what was the first on-screen lesbian couple or something like that, and then it's like you don't even see them.
One of the famous moments of people saying to me, "Oh, that one shot, yeah, they can cut that out for China or Russia or whoever that doesn't want to see that." Like, yeah, they could easily cut that out because her again with the no arc, her whole thing is, I think I killed my moms,
And that never goes anywhere, does it?
Nothing. And it comes up at the end. He's like, "I'm sure you'll find them." It's like, "Oh yeah, that was a thing," because the whole machine to see your memories, cool.
Also, I think it would be a better movie just leaving Wanda out of it and have it be her trying to find her moms.
And Strange trying to find a Christine that, which I will say, his speech to her in that universe, I'll talk about universe in a second, I really like. The I love you in every universe. That I was getting to me. I was like, really good scene. It's his acting that's really selling it. There's not much weight behind it, but it's such a good moment. I wish it was better. I wish there was more of an arc to him. He's just kind of sad the whole movie, and then just kind of goes, yeah.
The scene in the wedding scene is pretty good too.
Yeah. Poor Michael Stuhlbarg getting the shaft again. Dr. Nick West.
What are you talking about? He got his picture and name on the poster
for one
scene. Yeah,
which
that man got paid.
I lost my cat and my brother in that. Okay,
it's just another like instance of Marvel handling the snap, but only as little as they possibly can. The blip, only as little as they possibly can.
Yeah, and like at this point, a couple years removed, and like we've had a couple shows, I believe, around this time or before that have dealt with it more. So it's like, I get it's winding down, but also like untapped potential for that time, and now it's gone. Yeah, but I just there's so much again.
That's why I think that this movie is more frustrating than just movies that are outright bad. Like if it's like half good and it's like this could be good and it has really, really good parts in it, like that frustrates me more.
Yeah, it's bad when you watch a movie and there's so much good happening, but you're still bored.
Yeah.
Like this movie bored me in a lot of spots that very fun, interesting things were happening because I knew like, okay, it's about to die down in a second, and we have like a 20-minute lull coming.
And real quick before we move on the back on the Raimi cut, who is that stabs the book? That apparently has a connection to Wong?
It's Wong's partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't really establish that outside of him saying something. Oh my goodness.
They kind of cut that part of it out of it.
Yeah, I forgot that. That seemed like such a significant thing, and then it just wasn't.
Nope. They have a couple scenes together where they speak to each other, but...
And then it's like, she sneaks up and she sacrifices herself to destroy it, and Wong's yelling no, and it's like, man, that would be much more powerful if I knew who you were. It just...
Even post this movie, they don't really reference her. Wong is just chipper and happy. Just typical Wong.
Because I saw her, like, they're putting importance and focus on her, not only in the dialogue and how the character interacts with her, but the camera too. This is supposed to be a big deal. Why are we not actually like telling us who this is? We've barely seen this person and they're dead. Why would that make me care?
I can't remember his name, but even like that Minotaur that's at the Carmitage is a popular like comic book character, and he gets nothing but just screen time. That's all it is. And I'm pretty sure there was more from him in the Raimi cut as well, with some more importance.
Minotaur?
Yeah, at Kamar-Taj with all the rest of the...
When Wanda's
Like the Roxxon Minotaur guy?
The what?
Like the Roxxon Minotaur guy? Yeah, that's a whole... Oh, that's a different thing. Never mind.
It's when Wanda's throwing her little balls at people, and
I think
he's
that
just
might
there.
be the Roxxon Minotaur
Probably
guy.
is. Let me look.
Some of that doesn't look
Agger, I think
great.
his name is
What'd you say?
Agger.
How do you spell Minotaur?
Minotaur.
While we are waiting for Nick to find this, Jared,
Oh
did you happen to watch Dutch this week?
no,
Why not?
because I had to watch very long, boring movies this week.
Dutch is a very short, boring movie.
It's not boring.
Compare it to RV.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. Oh, man. Man, I want to see this.
Rintrah is the name of the Minotaur.
Isn't that a thing that you get in the back and the guy picks it up and it's a rickshaw? Never mind.
Wow.
Jared, how do you not have time for Dutch? I watched all these movies as well, and I still watched like 4 other movies this week, including Idiocracy, which I've seen like 30 times.
How many did you watch last night?
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Watch all
Also,
three?
Idiocracy was last night too.
We watched two of them last night.
To be fair, one of them was a rewatch because I was
So you had time.
I
to
was
rewatch,
nodding
okay.
off during it, so I wanted
Here's
to
a
make sure I
question.
was fueled in my hate.
What have you watched? Because the only thing you've logged for this week is this week's movie and Untold.
I was watching shows.
What shows are you watching right now?
I finished the animated Justice League.
How'd you like that?
It's great. It's so good.
Is that including Unlimited or
The first show, I'm moving on to Unlimited
good? 'Cause
soon.
Unlimited has some really good episodes in it.
Yeah,
Really
the end of Justice League is where the Thanagarians invade, and it's one of those where I'd seen so many clips from the series, and when you watch it, it's like, oh, that's where that goes. That one had so many moments. One of my favorites being they get into I know we're talking about the wrong thing now, but they get into the Thanagarian ship, and Flash goes, "What's this do?" And he blows out a wall in the Wayne Manor, and Batman goes, "Not helping." Sorry.
Continuing on with Justice League for a second, is the regular Justice League where it has the Christmas episode with Martian?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite episodes. Martian Manhunter at Clark Kent's house and like learning what it is to be human and have a human Christmas. It's so good. Better than a lot of the MCU.
We had to wrap his gifts in lead. You mean Santa wrapped
Yeah.
it? Yeah. It's like, that's good.
Oh, such a good show.
Oh, yeah.
Let's watch that.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the Illuminati?
Didn't we already?
We haven't gone in depth with them.
Is there really anything like they're not very in depth in the movie?
Yeah, so we get different versions of all of our fun characters, except for one, which is Blackagar Boltagon.
Glapagar Boltaban.
Blackagar Boltagon.
What?
Blackagar
Blackagar
Boltagon.
Boltagon.
That is Black Bolt's name. King of the Inhumans. And I'm so glad he was in this movie, even for 2 seconds. He didn't have any lines, though, which was weird.
No, he did. His last words blew his brains out.
Oh, actually, he blew Doctor Strange away, too, with I'm sorry. Which was very cool. That's a cool show of his powers.
See, I think at this point we're getting to very, I don't know if I'd call them C-tier
Niche?
heroes. Yes. I had never heard of that person.
He has a whole TV show within the MCU.
Balthazar Blanigan.
Inhumans. The first 2 episodes came out in IMAX.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It's real bad. One of the worst shows probably ever made. Highly recommend.
Is that the one where they like did a comic book accurate Starfire?
Starfire's DC.
Oh,
Teen
the
Titans.
lady with the red hair.
That's Medusa.
Yeah.
Almost comic accurate. In the first episode, they shave her hair off, which is the source of her power. She controls her hair and can do things with her hair. And they shave her bald.
Huh.
It's a bad, bad show.
Huh.
So that's a TV show holdover, that character. Brannigan Zakala or something.
Yep.
Say Blackagar
Boltagon.
Blackenbar.
Black Bolt.
Bar. This is hard.
But other than that,
I hate the outfit that Lashana Lynch wears for her Captain Marvel outfit. It's real ugly.
because it's
She doesn't
black and
really-
white.
It doesn't have a green in it, too.
I think so.
Yeah, it's got, like,
she doesn't
green
really
in it.
do anything either.
No. And I like Lashana Lynch a
me
lot.
too.
I think she was one of the best parts of Captain Marvel.
So wait, she has Captain Marvel's powers, but they just she gets a statue thrown on her. That's
Pretty
it.
much.
Captain Marvel can just
Fly through ships.
Fly through ships and punch Thanos in the face and not care.
But a little statue falls on them, and that's the end. And that's the least gruesome death.
Yep.
You got string cheese.
The most powerful person
You
there
got
has
half
the
the
least
woman she used to be. You got bolt his brain out.
See, it's when they do things like this, like the thing with Haley Atwell, that they undercut any like power of them not being there has. Being that her story ended in Endgame. Having that actor come back. Why are you staring at me like you don't know what I'm talking about?
I think I brain went and blank.
Am I not saying it clearly?
Maybe not,
You're
because I'm kind of not sure what you're talking about either.
Are you talking about Lashana Lynch?
No, Haley Atwell.
It like undercuts
Haley
the finale?
Atwell.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't say so, only because it's an alternate universe. It's not like they're bringing back our original Haley. This is the one from the What If universe, which I really like those What If episodes with her.
I watched the Doctor Strange one.
It's so good.
I finished the movie. Then I go, that's better than I remember it being. I'm actually kind of, feeling it. I was going to watch that episode. I think I'm going to watch that Doctor Strange episode, the one where
The heart one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I go, that was much better.
Yeah, that 30-minute episode was better than the entirety of this movie.
Yeah, the entire 2-hour movie.
It could have been stretched out to a full movie and been amazing.
Oh, he's trying over and over and over. They're trying, and it's you can't change this. She's going to die in some way.
It's a fixed point.
So he spends all that time just taking in all, and then just
ends up being the only thing in the universe.
Yep. And that moment when he's kind of like stuck in his little bubble, she disappears and he looks up at the Watcher,
Uatu,
and just is like pleading, and he's like, I can't interfere.
That second half of that first, I'm not watching any of the second season of it.
Me neither yet.
But the second half of the first season where it just like explodes and just morphs into this like singular narrative and is like, what? that was where that show got interesting.
Yeah, I really like that first season of What If, especially the Doctor Strange episode. It's better than most of anything in Marvel, in my opinion. It is so well done and well executed and well acted.
And why is that? Because animation is
the ultimate medium. Took a second to get used to the animation because of how uncanny it looks compared to them, but once you get used to that, and it's pretty quick, I was like, okay, I get it. It's not he gets hurt in this, it's she dies, and now he's doing everything. And it's just like him trying to get his hands back the first way. Of course he'd do everything he can and just take in all this power and information to get her back. That's interesting. He has an obsessive personality.
I am less frustrated with him doing that as she dies than I am for the ways that I was frustrated about the first movie.
And there are many reasons for that. And like a person we'd hold more dear than our bodies, I'd say, in that situation. And I just remember sitting there like, it just keeps getting like worse and worse. And you a lot of these tend to, not the What If, but like a lot of these Marvel stories tend to try to be on the more up and up, and that one
they just full on dark.
And it's not everything, it's just his universe, right? He destroyed his own and he's just by himself. Man,
it's sort of like the series What If is sort of like what is to Marvel like what Visions is to Star Wars, don't you think?
A bit, yeah.
Except What If has like one style,
and they're using the pre-established characters, whereas Visions is all completely original, contained within the one short.
Yeah, but if you didn't use the Marvel pre-established characters,
what would that look
characters would there be?
There's millions of Marvel characters. You can pick any characters. Give me a Power Pack episode. Give me a Nova episode. There's so much stuff because we've met the Nova Corps.
Yeah, that's true.
Give us a young Nova episode.
We sure did meet the Nova Corps, and then off screen they got murked.
Poor John C. Reilly.
I know.
Poor Glenn Close.
That's it. Well, here's the thing. He got back to his family, and that was a big part. I was like, oh, okay. It's a nice humanizing moment. And then, no, it's all gone. Well, apparently. Like it said, he decimated it, but that doesn't mean everyone's gone.
They
But
probably all went to Valhalla.
Oh, yeah, they're all coming back. That's right. But no, we're not there yet. But yeah, watching that What If episode, it was like, yeah, this movie isn't very good. It's not bad. It's just big missed opportunity. Yep. A lot of hype from me that just kind of ended in a, okay. It's too bad. Visually, again, great. The soup bowl thing, it's like, that's even, like, great.
The introduction of Wanda when she's talking to Strange and she drops America's name and it gets quiet for a second.
Yep, I didn't say her name.
Mm-hmm. And then she's just like, all right, let's just show you what's going on with me. So good. And then it's just followed by mediocre.
And then some good, and then mediocre.
And nothing. I don't think anything was really bad. It was just
That's
bland.
why it's more frustrating than the ones that are
exactly.
bad.
It was just bland.
The universe he and that Christine get sent to looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that universe.
The one's being torn apart?
Yep. Like the way it looks, like how haunting it feels when they're walking to it.
The black hole just pulling everything in.
Yep. Him walking up the steps with no building around it reminded me of like a Powell and Pressburger movie. Why can't I not think of the name off the top of my head? I'll think of it later, but just he gets up there and it feels like a video game level in the best way, where like the action is happening outside the room there, and you're in here doing whatever. Like, again, the fight is cool. Everything with the candles and how she's fighting those things, that's great. I love his speech. I don't even think we talked about Strange taking over the dead body.
Nope, I was waiting for you to finish that to talk about it, because I think
go ahead. And
that is a very Raimi thing.
It's so Raimi, and I love the part where we kind of just freeze on him, and all the arms are around, and like they're all swirling him. Like, it's so cool looking. And
it's kind of the voice and the way they move like that. You're taking that's breaking the walls or whatever.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, just the idea of him using the dream walking to go into a dead body. He's like, why not? Never said it had to be alive.
And construct wings out of dead souls trying to get him, and flying is so cool.
Yeah, there's like that whole sequence is so cool.
And he gets up there and he's fighting, and then Wong has the best yell with a Strange.
I love
Wong. Me too. That whole I was like, okay, that's probably why I'm feeling it. And like the universe before, and then that, and then that's why you get to the end of it, like maybe this is better. And no, it's just I got excited about a good part of it.
So you walk out. That was good, right? Yeah. It's the episode 1 effect.
Yeah.
And the BVS effect.
Nah, BVS. No. I knew from day one. I was like, they messed up on this so hard. Like,
Martha.
It's not even just that for me. It's like the whole fight with Batman and Superman in his suit was dumb. Just everything about that movie is dumb.
His suit was fairly accurate
to
the Dark Knight. Like, fairly. But even just, I don't know. I just don't think
it looked cool visually.
I don't think Ben Affleck made a good Batman, but
he's one of my favorite Batman.
Really?
Both physically and acting wise, I think Batman should look like Ben Affleck because he's constantly throwing people and things around. He should look more like a strong man than a lanky, lean muscle type. And I also really liked his back and forth between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like when he's at the party acting drunk to sneak downstairs to get to like the server room. I think that stuff is so good.
Maybe.
I think it's the stuff around the movie that makes it seem worse than it is.
Are you talking about BVS?
Yes.
Or are you talking about like Justice League?
Depends on what cut.
The Snyder cut.
Great.
Yeah, I like him.
He's great in the Snyder cut.
Cut's good. I just don't really. How many movies was he Batman in?
4?
It's got to be like 5.
Because BVS, he was in Suicide Squad for the one scene. He was in Justice League, the theatrical cut, and then he was
in 2 scenes of Suicide Squad, wasn't he? Because he has the sit down with Amanda Waller at the end.
Okay, so 2
Didn't
scenes.
we see his origin in Suicide Squad?
No. He's chasing down Deadshot.
Yeah.
Deadshot, right?
He's in multiple scenes because he's also chasing down Harley and Joker because they're in the car
That's right.
scene.
The Deadshot
because he puts the rebreather on her.
Yep, so he's in that movie. And then, of course, the Snyder Cut, if you count that, it is a separate thing for how much there's different. But
and he's in The Flash.
He is in The Flash?
Yep. He has the highway scene at the very beginning where he's trying to stop people when Flash is going to stop the babies coming out of the thing. Yeah. And he's got like the
done my-
slide suit on where he's like dragging behind cars.
That's right.
I love
Okay.
The Flash. It's such a bad movie.
I have done my best to forget about that movie.
I've watched it like 4 times. There's so much good in that movie, and then there's so much bad.
There's so much good in that movie, and then there's Ezra Miller.
I think Ezra Miller in some scenes is phenomenal.
They should have just had Grant Gustin do it.
Well, yeah, obviously. They should have just had John Wesley Shipp do it.
Michael Rosenbaum should have just been old Flash.
Jeez.
I love his Justice League Flash. It's perfect. Yes, you were about to say something?
No, I was agreeing with you. I love Michael Rosenbaum.
Agreed.
He is probably the best part of everything that he's in.
Guardians?
I know he's only in it for like...
What's his name
10
again?
seconds.
Martin X.
I was going to say it was something like that. I was going to say like Steel Flex.
Steelix?
Steel Flex. I like that.
Jefferson Steel Flex. And Alvin Yakitori, for those who know. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Sadness. So,
It was nice seeing Mordo back. I love Chiwetel Ejiofor.
yeah, that moment where he's talking to him outside and then just hugs him, and I go,
Steven.
Steven, brother. It's like, okay.
Oh, his long hair. I love it.
Everything that they built up in that... Because the way is the after credit scene or the mid credit scene in the original Doctor Strange.
Oh, when he steals Benjamin Bratt's powers?
Yeah, and he says, there will be no more wizards or whatever it is.
No more sorcerers.
Like, that's so...
Or is it too many sorcerers?
Yeah, there's too many sorcerers.
That's so cool and so threatening.
I like
And
how he
then
mentioned, he's
nothing.
like, yeah, he's back home stealing all the powers of sorcerers. Whatever.
Well, I was going to say, they mentioned him. Yeah, he's ever since he's tried to kill me. So there's been a lot more adventures, probably better adventures than this one. What are we doing here?
I know. I wish this movie was better. I wish it was more Raimi.
You said, I think, one episode, it's very Drag Me to Hell era Raimi too, where it still has that Evil Dead touch, but there's less of the outwardly like funny horror trope stuff, and it's way more of the
gross,
sinister, gruesome one.
Yeah.
I've never seen Drag Me to Hell.
Good movie.
It's one of those that came out and people were kind of lukewarm, but it has its cult following, and now a lot of people talk highly of it.
Yeah, I've been a big fan since I saw it in theaters. I love that movie
That's
so
like
much.
2009. That's not right.
I think so.
First post-Spider-Man
Before he
movie?
did Oz Great and Powerful. I know that.
I saw it in theaters.
So did I.
I saw it in theater too.
There are things in that movie I love. Like 2 things.
Like Zach Braff is a monkey.
And the porcelain dolls that are from
That's
Return
right.
to Oz.
Like, oh, so you think I'm a monkey? You think I like bananas? Well, do you want it? Of course I do. I love bananas. That's like the only thing I remember from that movie. And I did laugh pretty hard. And then the rest of the movie exists. Who is the
James Franco?
No, who was the one of the witches or whatever?
Mila Kunis?
That was Mila Kunis? Man, I can't.
And I don't remember who played, I think it was Glenda, was the other witch that was in
Glinda?
there. Glinda, yeah.
So, did Wicked come out?
She plays Alpha
No,
Blood.
that's
Did Wicked come out? Is it this year?
it's
November?
2024 November.
Maybe early December.
When does this episode air? This month. Either this month or next month when this episode comes out. So it's around this time.
I'm excited for that movie. I'm not a big fan of musicals, but
For some reason, I thought, who is the person that plays Gamora?
So Zoe
Zoe
Saldana.
Saldana.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought that she was in it.
Is it because she's green?
I was
and
gonna
green?
say
It
the
might
same
have been
thing.
that. I don't know.
That's
But
what
the-
Ariana.
Grande.
No, who's the other who plays?
Oh,
Alpha
Cynthia Erivo,
That's right.
who's good actor and good singer. So that's a good.
I have
good pairing,
no
I think.
experience with Wicked. I have not. I don't know
It's
anything
pretty
about
popular.
it. I understand that.
Is the song
That's the
like,
name of
Into
the song.
Unknown? Is also a song in there.
That's Frozen 2, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No,
I don't like-
Popular is the song. Defying Gravity is like
Defying
the show, the
Gravity's
big
what I'm thinking of.
showstopper. I think that's end
Yeah.
of Act 1. I've never seen the whole show. It was around here a couple months ago, and everyone's going to it. And it's like, yeah, I'd go to it. And I think my family, like my mom and my siblings went or something. And I'm like, wait, you went? And they go, yeah. What, did you want to go? I go, I would have gone. Oh, we'll do it next time. Next time?
In,
Like-
in 3 years when it comes
Yeah.
back around.
Or whatever. It's like, I mean, I'm fine going to shows. I love seeing live shows, but it's like you didn't even ask.
Yeah, like I don't like musicals, but I love seeing live musicals.
Yeah, like I'm seeing a performance of Rocky Horror.
That sounds
At the time of recording this, that's in a couple weeks, and it's like, man, I'm not a giant
Where are you
fan,
seeing
but
it at?
I don't know.
I'm
not buying the tickets. They said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Yeah, sure."
Is it in Grand Rapids?
I think so.
It's probably at Wealthy Street. I think
Is it Wealthy?
I think they do.
Or there's one up by the community college.
Yeah.
That used to Actors Guild or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
I think Wealthy Street does a live version of it as well every year, as well as they're playing the movie.
Yeah, I'm not a giant fan, but it's like I'll check this out.
Are you seeing a live show
live
show of it? Or are you
not
watching
the movie live
Yeah.
show?
Because the movie with the interactive experience is a trip.
I haven't done that in years. I would love to.
We used to do it at the Royal Oak, not music theater, but the art theater that used to be there.
Oh, it's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, don't remind me. That is a trip watching people interact with that movie. The Actors Guild, whatever it's called, over there by the, what is it on? Is it on Lion? It might be. Wherever it is, that's where Drew and I saw Reefer Madness. That's the best show I've ever seen.
A live show of Reefer.
Yes, live show of Reefer Madness.
Was it Reefer Madness the musical, the show or something?
No, it was just Reefer Madness the musical.
Okay, I thought they added another.
It
subtitle.
is. The movie is an adaptation of that show.
The movie's an adaptation of that show, which the show is a funny adaptation of that old short.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Clea.
Speaking of that, though, before we saw that, every October we used to go see Detroit's rendition of Evil Dead the musical. That's another fun one.
So, Jared, what did you think of America Chavez's performance, the actor? What was her name again?
Off camera, we've been having this conversation because I am horrible at pronouncing things.
Social Gomez.
Okay.
I think her performance was actually really good for the little that she was given. I'm excited to see her in Young Avengers. I think she might play really well off of Iman Vellani, who I think is probably one of the strongest actors coming up for the Young Avengers. I don't want any more Billy and Tommy, though. I don't like the kids who play them.
You don't want more, Ice Cream Song or whatever it is?
They're as annoying as their parents.
It's like, man, most of this movie I'm fine with, but if there's one scene I want to just dig out my innards with a spork, it's that scene.
So,
what scene are you talking about?
When they sing to her fake children.
Yeah.
It's like, this is tough. They're also playing like MVP baseball 2003, and I was like, let's be the Tigers. I'm like, you mean one of the worst teams ever? Okay.
I had a question for Nick as well. So I know typically the lore is that the Scarlet Witch is the daughter of Magneto. Mm-hmm. Are they just kind of not doing that for this universe?
They must not be, seeing how we saw her parents in WandaVision, and they seemed like just regular people.
And also, you would think that if she came into contact with Xavier
there'd be
from
some
any
kind of
universe, he would know because he's Magneto's brother, is he not?
See, in this
universe, which is weird because in the X-Men universe,
they're
Magneto is her dad, because we have Quicksilver's in there, and in not the because in the first time we see Quicksilver, you see that he has a sister watching TV. But in an extended cut of that, he has another sister upstairs, and that's supposed to be Wanda. Because the sister watching TV is younger than Quicksilver, but Wanda's supposed to be older.
It's going to be so weird when they finally bring
Evan Peterson,
the X-Men into the MCU. Just because, what do? Do you recast? Do you just mush the two universes
They'll have
together?
to do what they're doing with Fantastic Four and setting it in an alternate universe. And I'm assuming in Fantastic Four they're going to end up in our universe through
something
similar to how Venom ends up in our universe.
And then gets thrown back into Spunk.
Without having any interaction with Spider-Man.
How is?
Yeah.
We get to talk about Venom next week too.
Yeah, we do.
I was like, you know why, Jake?
Yeah. See, that's so. You said Magneto. What is Eric? Right? Is his name? But his last name's not Maximoff.
No, it's Eric. Lancashire?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So in those other universes, he is their father. In this one, their parents just have magnetic personalities. You know how they could twist it.
I'm done with this podcast.
What
I'm
if
never coming back.
what if their dad is Magneto, and the reason that bomb didn't go off is
he was sick of his family? No, I was going to say he was sick of his family, so he pulled one towards him to blow up their
I was going to say
Yeah,
it
I'm done
landed
with
in the
this.
house, and he stopped it from going off.
He's sitting there in his last breath, just holding his hand
Yeah,
there,
but
making sure it doesn't go.
both of his kids are dead at this point, so
Both of
we
his
don't
kids
know
are
that.
dead. No, they survived.
Quicksilver did not survive.
Well, we were talking about Magneto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quicksilver would be one of his kids.
Yeah,
I mean, he survived that bomb.
yeah.
That bomb, but not all those.
We're talking about the bomb.
those
Yeah, we're talking
bullets.
about that bomb scene.
Yeah, what you're saying, that's how they'd retcon. It's like, oh, he used, again, the last bit of strength to just stop the bomb from going off and save them. That's how you retcon that.
Yeah, but you would think Magneto would feel the bombs coming and be able to stop them. I actually don't know if Magneto has like consents metal things, or if he like just can see it and control it.
Magneto
I think
was
he can
actually one of the
sense it.
Eternals, and he was told not to interfere. And then when the bomb hits, he had to interfere. Yep.
He interfered,
'Cause
like the rest of the Eternals.
How different is the landscape of this universe if that bomb goes off and neither of those Maximoffs exist? Like especially in the last couple years of these movies. Like that's one of those. That's a what if. What if that bomb went off? That's so dark. I'm just saying.
Couldn't be dark. It's not darker than the Doctor Strange one, where the entire universe collapses on him.
That's true. Isn't there another Doctor Strange one with like zombies, or am I thinking something else?
Yeah, there's a Marvel Zombies episode.
That's a Marvel Zombies episode. Yeah, I saw some of the others. I go, if I had time, maybe, but I just watched this 2-hour movie and this half-hour thing. I'm good.
The
I'm
zombie
gonna go
one's
to
good
bed.
because they fight zombie Wanda in that one as well. She's a big bad.
Zomda.
And you get Paul
Zomda.
Rudd playing Ant-Man, but he's just a head, like in Futurama. But he's got Doctor Strange's cape, so he's flying around.
That is fun how they get them to voice them like that. And that's the last appearance of Chadwick Boseman in What If as well in the MCU.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have something to ask Nick?
Are we that point?
I was expecting you to jump in.
I don't
and
have
say
much
it.
else to say about the movie.
Yeah,
except
I
for
don't
Clea.
either.
You didn't talk about Clea. Go ahead and talk about Clea, and then I'll ask a question of you.
I think the scene with Clea is really cool because it makes
Because
no
it's
sense.
two
Yeah,
seconds.
but her cutting the reality open looks kind of cool.
She ripped the fabric of reality.
Yeah, with her sword.
With her little halo sword.
Yeah, she's
Charlize Theron.
Dormammu's niece.
Oh, that's right. You've told me that several times before.
Did she say I've come to bargain to him? That would have been great. It's like, bring all of you, all 3 of your eyes, or something dumb they'd throw in there.
See,
It's also the first hint of an incursion on our main world, which could be the relaunch of the MCU at some point.
Oh, good. Start over.
Yeah, but I like the Ultimates. Give me the Ultimate stuff.
See, but then they try to play that third eye that Strange has off. Like, it's a surprise that he has it. It's like, no, of course he has it. What are you talking
No,
about?
it's a surprise to me. In the What If episode, it takes him so long of using the Darkhold to get that third eye, and this one he does one spell out of it, and now he's all of a sudden corrupted.
I do like the shot, though, how the last shot is the,
Yeah, him falling in the middle of New York City streets.
He just falls over and everyone's like staring at it. And I just, you know, his Cumberbatch yell. I still really like Strange.
Cumberbelt.
Gosh,
Cumberbelt. He is good.
he is such a good actor.
He really is.
He's so
People give him so much crap.
he's so strange looking, but also weirdly handsome.
Yeah.
Real handsome for being such
He's
a
very
weird looking dude.
reptile-esque.
Very, very lizardy.
Yes.
Because he played the dragon.
That's why, because I can only picture him crawling around with his green screen suit on. Yeah, doing that.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Why does he get so much crap from people?
Because Sherlock didn't end the way they wanted it to, and then start the whole Star Trek debacle, which is not his fault.
Nope.
But because it's it's
about his character.
because it's
Parodying.
parodying one of the most beloved Star Trek movies.
Wait, it's a parody of Wrath of Khan?
I would not. It's just
It's a kind of a remake, isn't it?
yeah, but
I've never seen it.
Plus, that
I don't
movie
know.
has
It's hard
tribbles
to say what it really is. I think it's its own thing,
in it. And they just use Khan.
yeah.
Yeah.
No. Khan. I've seen that
But
scene.
because it is that to one of the most beloved movies, I think people put that on him more than he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I like Into Darkness.
So out of all those Star Trek shows, though, what is your favorite one?
Next Generation.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a popular pick. A lot of people like Deep Space Nine as well.
Nah, I'm a big Whoopi Goldberg fan, and
That's
Yeah.
What is her name again?
oh, it's been so long I don't remember.
Yeah, but that's right. She was on
I
there.
also like Worf a lot.
I like how he says, "We're being hailed," every time.
Number 2.
He's the Fright Knight in Danny Phantom. And I always remember, the Fright Knight lives! Every time. What? You don't like Michael Dorn?
No, I do. I'm just thinking about the Fright Night.
The Fright Knight. Good show.
My favorite is Voyager. In fact, one of my core memories is every Saturday night, my family would sit down and eat dinner in the living room watching Voyager.
They kind of, the end of that, they kind of just find Big Thing to just do the rest of the work for them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we just happened to find a giant slingshot.
Yeah, woo!
It always cracked me up. It's like, oh, that's how they, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's my parents. One of my parents' favorite. I can't remember which one.
They didn't really like the Picard show, did they?
No.
My dad did.
I've heard that by a lot of people, where they felt a little bit disappointed by Picard. I haven't watched it yet, but I'd like to.
What's it on? Is that Paramount?
I think it was Drew that told me it's some of the best Star Trek television ever.
And he's a big Star Trek. He's a big Trekkie or Trekker or whatever.
His favorite is Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
I believe.
That's my parents' least favorite one. Because then I have friends who are Trekkies or whatever you call them. So that's their favorite. And they're like, what? He doesn't like Deep Space Nine. It's like, yeah, it bores him. They're like, but it's all the cool political stuff. That's why it bores him.
That's like liking the prequels. It's all the cool political stuff. Trade agreements.
Tariffs.
Well, let's not talk about those.
No.
No, we'll talk about it more next week when we have Natalie Portman on.
I've got. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, let's move on to bigger and better movies, boys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about better. Let's move on to bigger movies.
So,
Longer movies.
Nick,
Yeah.
did you happen to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I watched a lot this week.
Did the appearance of Charlize Theron just embolden you to go back and watch What's-Her-Face in Agents of Sky or whatever?
If anything, Blackagar Boltagon would have had me going back because he's an Inhuman and so is Sky, and they have a giant Inhuman storyline in that show.
Oh.
Yes. Terrigen Mist is a big plot of like 4 seasons in that, and I did not.
So you didn't want
No.
not even Glabagar Boltagon or whatever his name is. Good
Glubagu Babano had no influence on me this week.
Okay.
Well, he's definitely not coming back for a season, whatever they're on.
Technically, he was never even in that show. He had his own show that just failed and flailed.
Yeah.
They have the dog, though. It's a giant dog, like this big. Can't remember his name. Lockjaw. And he's got a tuning fork in his head, just like Black Bolt, and he can teleport people to and from places. So he gets, but the CGI for that dog was too much. So halfway through the series, he gets sick and is no longer in the show.
What is the name of the show? It might not be Marvel at all. It might be a DC show where they're kids and they have like a tiger.
Only thing I can think of is Titans, and that's just Beast Boy turning into a tiger.
Okay.
Is it a green tiger?
The regular tiger. It was on Netflix. Maybe it's the Umbrella Academy.
That is neither. That's Image Comics, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Gerard Way comic, right?
Yep, Gerard Way comic. Lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
That's still the funniest. Did you know the Academy person? He was in a band. I go, you don't say.
You mean the guy that in the band made a comic named Umbrella Academy? It's a little backwards there. That's
all right, we good?
Yeah. Let's get out of the sadness and get into the badness.
Yeah, so
next
all
week.
right.
So we can get a little bit Thor next week.
All right,
By thunder.
that concludes our thoughts on Mom. If you just want to continue along with us as we get more and more phased out, Jared, where can they find us during the week?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the funny TikTok, and X.
Formerly known as Twitter.
And you can listen to us on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Check us out on YouTube, where you can like and subscribe and comment and ring our bell. And make sure you rate us and follow us on all those apps. And check out our groovy website.
Make sure you ring that bell so that you can get notified when we upload new videos like next week. Jared, what are we watching?
Love and Thunder.
That sounds like
No, I'm sorry, Jared. It's Thor, Love and Thunder.
Oh, great. We're going to watch Taika Waititi jack himself off again. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to watch us as we get more and more phased out, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Ready to talk about Clea?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that person.
She's finally here for 2 seconds.
Who is she again?
We'll talk about it.
Thanos' niece?
We'll talk about it.
Somebody's niece.
I feel so white and American right now.
You are so white and American.
I know. I can. That's why I feel that
Will
way.
you spell it out for me? I like all the Star Trek movies.
I personally...
I think they're
all of them?
All of the Chris Pine Star Trek.
The trilogy of those.
Yes. I like the Abrams ones.
To be honest, I think I like Into Darkness better than I like Wrath of Tron.
I'd have to watch both of them again. It's been so long.
I think I'm just a little young to really connect with, and I didn't watch it at the right time.
No, see, I grew up on the Star Trek stuff. That was like my dad's favorite series. We were a Star Trek house, not a Star Wars house. It wasn't until I was much older that I started getting into Star Wars more so.
That's fair.
Have you seen all of the shows, at least up through like Enterprise, like all those shows?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Some of the newer ones I haven't watched,
like
Discovery or Picard or anything like that, or Below Decks.
Below Decks, I think.
Yeah, which I want to watch Below Decks. I hear it's great. And it's got Jack Quaid in it, who I adore. He's like the main character.
Oh, gotcha.
I think they brought him in live action to Discovery too.
Let's see.
How far back? I don't know.
They should have had Doctor Strange recreate the Ant-Man trailer with the ham boning, but just mom.